You know that moment when you scroll through a dozen glossy photos of kitchen appliances, each one promising restaurant-grade performance, and then the thing you finally pull out of the box turns out to be more of a decorative piece than a workhorse? I've been there, and it's why I want this review to feel more like a conversation with a friend who's already done the legwork. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I'm going to walk through the real-world pros and cons of the THOR Kitchen Professional 36-inch gas range so you can decide whether it's a safe bet or a costly misstep. First, let's talk about the category itself. Gas ranges sit at the intersection of quick heat response and precise temperature control, which is why they remain a favorite for anyone who actually cooks, not just reheats. The biggest disappointment people encounter is a mismatch between advertised BTU numbers and how those burners actually behave in the kitchen. Some models claim high output but flood the pan with uneven flames, while others hide a low-output burner behind a fancy knob that never quite reaches a gentle simmer. The hidden trade-offs usually involve the size of the oven, the layout of the burners, and how easy the surface is to clean after a splatter-heavy session. The THOR Professional tackles a lot of those typical pain points, starting with its 6 sealed burners. The top burner pushes 18,000 BTU, which is enough to sear a steak in under a minute, and the middle-range 9,000 BTU burner gives you a solid, steady heat for sautéing vegetables without the flare-ups you see on open-tube designs. Because the burners are sealed, the flame stays under the cooktop surface, which means less soot and a cleaner look after a week of cooking. In practice, that translates to a quick pop-up of a caramelized crust on a ribeye and a low-hum simmer for a delicate beurre blanc, both without the burner constantly licking the sides of the pan. The oven is where the range really shows its professional badge. At 6.0 cubic feet, you can fit a 12-inch pizza, a roasting pan, and a casserole dish all at once without crowding. The high-speed convection fan circulates hot air, so the heat envelope stays uniform. I've seen home cooks use the fan to bake a batch of cookies on 2 racks and get an even color on each, something that would normally require rotating trays halfway through. The fan does make a faint whirring noise, but it's far quieter than a typical household HVAC unit, so it doesn't dominate the kitchen soundscape. Cleaning a gas range is often the deal-breaker. THOR's one-piece porcelain spill tray is a clever little detail. Instead of a collection of brackets and removable grates where food can fall into crevices, the spill tray slides out as a single unit. When a sauce overflows, you just pull the tray, rinse it, and pop it back in. It's not a miracle that eliminates every mess, but it cuts down the time you'd otherwise spend scraping burnt bits from behind the burners. The LED display screen is another practical touch. It consolidates oven functions bake, broil, convection into a single readout, so you don't have to hunt for a separate dial. The screen is backlit, making it readable even when the kitchen lights are low. The only hiccup is that glare can become an issue if you have strong overhead lighting, but a quick tilt of the knob or a slight reposition of the range hood clears it up. Now, who should actually consider this THOR range? If you're a serious home chef who frequently sears, deglazes, and roasts, the combination of high-output burners and a spacious convection oven offers real time savers. Families that bake holiday meals will appreciate the ability to run multiple dishes simultaneously without hot spots. The seal burner design also appeals to people who value a cleaner cooktop, especially if you tend to work with oil-heavy dishes. Lastly, if you're willing to invest in a piece of equipment that looks as good as it performs, and you have the square footage for a 36-inch appliance, this range fits the bill. On the flip side, the range isn't a universal solution. If you're renting and can't make permanent modifications, the professional grade weight and the need for a dedicated gas line make installation a hassle. Small kitchen dwellers should measure carefully the 36-inch width, plus the depth of the knobs and the overhang of the oven door.